Hello and welcome to our Byte Pro Basics video. This video is an overview on the default settings covering topics starting with letters H through Z. Also be sure to review our other defaults video, which covers the first half of this section, as well as ones that cover more specific topics in depth, such as our condition screen in Enterprise, your good faith estimate settings, as well as how to customize the user interface. All these videos can be found on our website at bytesoftware.com. So now let's open up Byte Pro and go through the second half of our default settings. Okay, so here we are in Byte Pro. Let's go to our defaults menu by going up to Customize, Defaults, and we'll go down here, scroll down to the lower half. Let's start off on our RS-4506T. What this screen enables you to do is set up default sets for your 4506T that will fill in sections 5 through 9 for you. Here's one that I've created already, and you can see you can fill in your section 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 information, and you can create multiple sets. So if you're going to need different information for different types of loans, you can just create different default sets at the top. And the way that that works, once you've got a set created, and as you can see we're on our 4506T screen right here. See, the top information is already filled in based on my homeowner's information, security numbers. What you can do is just click on Fill Values, and it'll go ahead and fill in sections 5 through 9 for you. Now, if you have multiple sets created, it'll give you a list to choose from, and you can choose which default set you want to use. Going on down the list, let's go to our items needed. Items needed in defaults. What you can do here is you can actually create default sets of items needed. So instead of having to enter individual items needed, you can create an entire default set. So as you can see, I've got one named here. I just haven't put anything in it. When you want to add items, you'd simply press on the plus sign, type in the description, check this box if it's something that's going to be supplied by the borrower, enter the stage that it's going to be collected, who you want to assign it to, and the number of days that it's going to be due and when it's going to expire. And you can also attach a follow-up flag as well. Enter all of your items, and there you go, you now have a default set. So you do not have to enter those individual items every single time you do a loan. Heading on down, we go to our loan screen. There's a lot of different information in here. You can set up your rounding method, whether you want to use the Fannie and Freddie or you want to default it to 2 decimal places automatically. Do you want to include POC costs in your details of transaction? Biweekly loan calculation method, you want to do it for 365 or 364 days. Things like that are all going to be right here. Different information and different details of your individual transactions can be controlled by this screen. Moving on to your lock screen, there's once again a couple different items that are going to cover your locks. Do you want to include the day of the lock in your lock period? What are you going to do with locks that fall on a Saturday, Sunday, or holiday? Do you want them to automatically default to the next business day? Then you would check this box. Do you want to use our built-in lock desk? And what that built-in lock desk is, let's go ahead and check that. And go to our product and pricing screen. This is our built-in lock desk right here. Is this lock request with all the different buttons. And we'll cover that functionality in another video. But if you do not want to use, if you do not currently use this feature or you are not using this feature, you can remove these buttons by simply checking on that default. Uncheck the default, close it out, and see, there you go, it's now gone. Do you want a lock confirmation email to be sent out? You can check this box here as well. Do you want extension fees? Do you want them to be applied to your pricing, or are they going to come straight off a profit? And then finally, you can select different lock extension policies. So you can see I've set it up so a 15-day extension is going to cost me a quarter, 30-day a half, and so on and so forth. And you can customize these any way you see fit. Heading on down the list, let's go down to our prepay section. This is where you can enter different prepayment penalty types. As you can see, there's a generic one entered here. That's your standard 12-month prepay, and you put in all the wording that goes along with that prepay. So when you're choosing a prepayment penalty, you can choose the appropriate wording to go along with it, and you can set that all up right here. Print sets. This is where you can edit or delete existing print sets that you have created. As you can see, I've got a couple of them in here that I've already done. What I can do is I can open it up, and let's say I wanted to take a document out of this. I can highlight it here and delete it. I can also change the order of the documents. Now, one important note is you cannot create new print sets in this screen. It is simply here to edit existing print sets. To create new print sets, you need to go to the printing menu by printing from any screen. Simply select the documents that you want to print in that set, and then click the Save As button here and give it a name, and that'll give you your new print set. So the defaults menu is strictly for editing those existing print sets. Printing defaults, this is if you want to add text to the bottom of each form, you can add that text here. Do you want to use Adobe to print all your documents? So in other words, when you print a document, you want it to pop up in Adobe, you can check that box here as well, and that will do that. Print your documents as a single print job. Do you want to print to dialog when printing is complete? Do you want it to? You can set all of your different printing settings right from this screen. Your processing log, you can cover the different particulars of your processing log. What wording do you want to appear on verification signature lines? Typically, it's going to be see attached authorization because you're going to be attaching a borrower's certain authorization along with that request, but you can customize that information right here. What title do you want to use for your processor? Different things, processing log defaults. You can also cover, actual resize your fonts. You're going to want that so that everything fits properly. Rural housing fees, this is very similar to your VA fees, FHA fees, things like that. This is where you can update them. You can simply click on the link and that'll update your rural housing fees. They don't change very often, but if you do need to adjust them, you can do that here. Rounding, typically you're going to want to keep your rounding to $1, but we do give you the option to do it in either $50 or $100 increments, or no rounding at all, to where it'll take it out to 2 decimal places. Sales tools, this is where you can choose the logo that's going to print on your sales tools. Whenever you print them out, meaning your comparison flyers, your open house flyers, debt consolidation flyers, things like that. You can either go with the Equal Housing Opportunity or Equal Housing Lender logos, and that's depending upon your location, which one you need to use. You can also customize your disclaimer text that you have on each one of these. This is not a loan commitment nor is it a guarantee. You can set that however you need it to be. Screen groups. This is going to show you a list of all of the screens that are within BytePro and which one of the headings they are appearing underneath. So these headings over here. You can also control where a screen is going to appear. So if you want a screen to appear under a different heading, you can change that right here. Or if you want it to appear under multiple headings, you can do that as well. You can simply find the screen that you want, double click on it, and it'll give you the checkboxes showing which headings it's currently appearing under. Either change the checkbox or select multiple checkboxes, and it'll show up under whichever ones you choose. A lot of people are going to lock this section down so that only administrators can handle it. Don't want people moving screens all over the program and never be able to find them. Your servicing disclosure. Main thing here you're going to have is we may transfer, we do not service, or we will service your loan. Most people are going to keep that as we may transfer. And then you also have the option to include a signature line on your servicing disclosure. You can put that checkbox right here. Status. The pop-up your status screen whenever you close a file. A lot of people like to keep this on so that it reminds them to update the status on their file whenever they close it, and that just means that the status screen will automatically pop up whenever you close a file. You can update the associated date when the loan status changes. You're typically going to want to have this one checked just to keep your dates all up to snuff. Set the application date to the in-processing date when the in-processing date changes, and so on and so forth. Your tasks, we actually have an entirely separate video section on tasks, and this is where you create your task templates, and we have a video that covers all of that. So please check that out, and we will go into greater depth on your default settings for the task menu in that series. Down to the Truth in Lending, the TIL. This is where you can control which TIL version you're using, your APR calculation methods, where you want to use actuarial, or if you want to use a US rule, that's going to be dependent on you. Your APR options right here, what's going to be included in APR, different drop downs that you can control here. Automatically fill the filing and recording fees from the GFE. You can have it auto-populate those for you. And then you can also create TIL default sets. And what these do, so if you open one up, it's basically the bottom half of your TIL. You can set up these default sets based on the type of loan or however you want them set up that will fill in this information for you. Now let's go to our Truth in Lending. Scroll down. You'll see this is this bottom section here. When I create those default sets, all I have to do is hit Fill Answers, choose the default set that I want to use, and it will fill it in for you. And there you go, those items are filled. And then finally, last one I want to cover is our zip codes. You can disable the zip code lookup. The way the product comes is anytime you want to enter an address, all you need to do is enter the zip code and it will auto-populate the city and state for you. If you want to disable that for some reason, that would be this checkbox right here. Check it and that will not work. You'll have to enter them manually. The other thing is this table down below, which is our zip code override table. If for some reason you need to override that auto population, you can do that right here. All you do is you hit the plus, put in the zip code and what city and state you want it to show up as. Then it will auto populate it the way that you have it set up. This covers the second half of the default settings and wraps it up. Always remember that help is never more than a click away. You can go up to our help menu up on the top and go to our help guide and down to our default section where you find all this information that I've covered and then some. And if you can't find what you're looking for in there as well, also remember you can click on help and go to our technical support section where you'll find our technical support phone number as well as a link to our technical support inbox. Contact us either way and be sure and include your user number so we can expedite your service and we'll help you out. Once again, thank you for using Byte Pro and thank you for your time.